My name's Mary. I'm one of the senior refractive optometrists here in Belfast with Optical Express. I've been with the company now 10 years this summer, which has gone quickly. Definitely a culture for learning and development, which has certainly increased in the last sort of 5 years through the independent prescribing courses and extra additional training that's been offered. When I first started, I was very new to refractive surgery, and it isn't something that's actually taught much through the university course, so it was a really steep learning curve for the first few years. And then you become a bit more comfortable. Obviously, the more patients, the more experience you gain. Probably now I have a more senior role and I assist in surgery days, and I'm help train newer members of the staff to the team. But it is great to pass on the knowledge, because I do remember what it's like when you first come and you feel a little bit overwhelmed by everything. Most new starters would shadow for a few weeks just to get an idea, and whilst they're doing that they'll do the online courses. But really a lot of that doesn't start to make sense until you actually start to see patients live. So we'll do probably a lot of shadowing, increased testing times initially till people, till new starters get their confidence up. It really just fits in with my sort of lifestyle. It is a challenging environment, but that's the kind of environment I do like to work in. I do find the work really interesting. The whole patient journey from start to finish is fantastic to see patients come out the other side, freedom from glasses, life-changing results. Also, the introduction of the independent prescribing course was definitely an avenue that I was happy to go down a few years ago to further my development. I think also the flexibility that it offers around the sort of work-life balance has really worked for me as having a young family coming up. So I've been able to sort of focus on both aspects of work, because really you shouldn't have to compromise. Probably the biggest support is through the continuous educational development, particularly with the IP course that was run through Glasgow Caledonian University. But so beneficial. I would recommend anyone to consider it. It is a little bit of hard work, particularly when you're working full-time or you've got all the commitments out of work, but absolutely beneficial to yourself and your patients afterwards. Because we are in a unique position here where we're dealing with patients post-operatively, so obviously the more medical knowledge and prescribing knowledge that we have, the better service we can offer to our patients. For the first few weeks when they're here, they would tend to shadow myself or one of my colleagues, and they would go through some online courses, and I would help them with that. And they'll always understand that I'm there to support them, and it's a learning environment. And even that works for me as well. Sometimes you do want a second opinion from your colleagues. So I suppose it's just knowing that they have that a second opinion, that they can knock on your door and come and ask you. And we do have that through head office as well, with the clinical second opinions helpline if there's no one available in clinic. Ultimately we are all optometrists, but some people have more experience in certain fields than others. And I think even though I've possibly been here the longest, there still are days where I think, oh, hold on, I'm just not quite sure here, I'll just get a second opinion. And I think if you have to always realise the limitations, and it's never a bad idea to ask for a second opinion. Yeah, I think definitely there's a very clinical culture. Obviously, we want to give our patients the best experience and be sound clinically. And I think that definitely there's a learning environment there where there's a lot of support available, even just here in the clinic or through head office. And there's a very good support network made up of our internal email facilities where we can ask opinions from senior clinical staff. Surgeons are always available to give us help. So ultimately that's the most important, that we're offering excellent service to our patients. I think if you're looking for a variety outside the traditional optometry role, I would certainly consider refractive option or optical express option as something that will challenge you. It will further your clinical skills. So I would definitely recommend it to anyone who's interested in looking at that. Definitely the most enjoyable aspect is seeing patients after their journey, especially patients that maybe at the moment with very dense cataracts or very high prescriptions that really are holding them back in their day-to-day lives. seeing them at the end of their journey, which is actually really life-changing for those patients, is just so great satisfaction. And that is the nice thing about when I'm working with the surgeon on the day. I'll get to see my patients the next day, and it is so rewarding to see, especially with patients with cataracts where the whole world is becoming clear again. It is fantastic. It can be emotional for some patients, yeah, I suppose we become used to it, but yeah, no, it is brilliant, and ultimately that's what we're here for. We want to give patients that freedom from glasses where possible.